When when there's a quarterback competition, you coach the receivers. Do you change your message to them at all? Like how do they go about addressing that or working through that?
No, I think the biggest thing is just the timing aspect. Is just working on themselves. One, because again, we want to be, help whoever that person is, and so we need to be in the right place at the right time. And so, really don't focus much on that. That stuff usually tends to work itself out the way it always has. And so, the biggest thing is we're in the right place for every quarterback that's in there. So we're not hindering them in their process too.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What have been your impressions of Barrett?
Yeah, Barrett's very consistent. Always in the right place at the right time, and just you can tell. Obviously, he's got some coaching genes in his family, and has been around the sport for a long time. And obviously, I think this is year 6, and so this is kind of. He's been there, done that, kind of in fall camp and throughout the season. So that's always good to have that veteran mindset and a veteran leadership in your room. And I think the biggest thing for him is coming out and making it his best one yet. So I'm really excited about him and just his continued development. I think I saw a development side from him even from practice 1 to practice 15 in spring. So looking forward to having him in there and again having that leadership mindset.
Is there somebody in the group you think is going to surprise us this season?
I don't know. I think maybe after a week I'll kind of have a little bit better idea. It's been a while since we've really seen them. I guess back when we concluded spring ball and our spring scrimmage out here. So I'm excited to see day one who's kind of taking that next step, because that was a challenge to every single person in the room. Is the person we saw after practice 13, 14, 15. Are you going to be the same person, or have you developed in this offseason, whether, like I was saying, with timing with the quarterbacks or just, individual skill development for every person. So we'll see. I'm excited to see who that, who hopefully multiple people are that'll kind of surprise us all.
You talk about veteran leadership. You look at guys like Toski, you mentioned Barrett. What do they bring to guys, who are younger in this room? You look at Mookie and Luther. What kind of leadership have they already brought to this group?
I think the biggest thing for them is just having a vocal aspect. Just pulling them aside, having those one-on-one conversations because they've seen it and done it. Everybody's been through this, for whether it's a Makai Miller, a Luther Birding, some of this is going to be a first time they've seen it. We're going to get to the dog days of fall camp, and things are going to get really tough and really hard. And just those one-on-one conversations when they can pull them aside, put their arm around them, and just tell them, look, man, I wish I would have known this, or somebody would have told me this at this point in my career. So I think that part of it's a really important piece to have some guys like that that's been through it.
Can you share? I'm with the St. Louis newspaper, so everyone hears the hype of Luther, and I'm singling him out with this question, but I understand he's part of a team. But can you share just like why he's, air quotes, better than a lot of other receivers coming into college football? What about him? What about his game?
I think the one thing that Luther that I saw in the spring is just his competitive character. I think we were doing a dodgeball tournament one day, a team development thing, and you saw him, and he just, whether it's dodgeball or football, I think he just likes to compete. And I think sometimes for young guys it's always a fill-out process. And again, it's managing expectations and then allowing him to, be a young kid and allow him to kind of come into his own and figure himself out in this process, because obviously the SEC is the best of the best. We would all agree that. And so I think for him it's just competitive character and just, his willingness to be humble and come in and try to get extra work in when he's not as good at something that he would like to be. And, I'm excited to see his development. Last time I saw him was out here, obviously spring game, and so excited to see his development for sure.
Yeah. And can you describe his talents in regards to dodgeball? What he brought to the table in that game?
Elusiveness, I guess you could say. Yeah, elusiveness was the best. He made a couple guys miss on some of that, and so. But no, he's a really good kid. I think he's a humble kid, and I'm excited to see his development.
Nice combination.